We're about well done. Okay, it is 6:48 on May 20th, and we are going to open the Architectural Review Board meeting. Chairman Reiki,
Present,
Richard Van Petten.
late but present.
Also present.
Angela Crisona's absence. We have a quorum. We will begin with docket number 01-2015, which is 14232 Euclid Avenue, Greater Cleveland RTA, exterior alterations. And you're on.
Okay. Well, essentially the reason for this project is that we have a large, a very congested area in our main bus loop area in front of the Windermere Station. And during the busiest times of day, the buses are all basically stacked on top of each other. And so, in addition, if you're familiar with the facility, which is right across the street here, so I'm sure you are somewhat familiar, there's what we call, at RTA, what we call a kiss and ride loop. And that's just where folks drive in and then drop off someone who uses the station and then drive away. And so we are going to eliminate that kiss and ride loop and punch through with our buses, and we will end up with this configuration here with two islands in the center, which will have bus shelters on them. So we will maintain a bus service in the existing, along the existing curb. And we have enough space here to allow, the buses parked here and then buses to pass. We can also have a bus that, makes this movement, and this bus can make this movement. Anyway, so we have several different movements that the buses can make, and it just adds flexibility to our routes.
But the direction of the buses is always in this direction.
Yeah, they'll always enter on this side.
And so they exit out
They
there,
will
so-
exit down here through
Uh-huh.
this parking lot and onto Euclid Avenue.
I see.
So to answer your question from earlier, these will be basically sidewalk areas, these two islands.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a railing here just to prevent people from crossing, and that's going to be a thermoplastic railing.
That's this line here with the little dots on it.
Right.
Okay.
That's just to prevent people from running across an area that buses are not anticipating them.
Okay.
And then we'll have this stamped concrete crosswalk area.
Where you do anticipate people to be walking.
That's correct. So,
Okay.
right, and we have a high mast pole that's existing on one of the larger islands, and that will be relocated. And it will be on this island here to basically, it'll be...
Is that what I'm looking at? Proposed light.
Right, and then we have some other lower level lighting, just, I think that light actually doesn't show up on this civil plan, it's on the electrical plan. But, so we'll have some other lighting here just for the comfort of the people that it's lower to the ground and more for people to use when they're waiting for the bus.
It's for pedestrian lighting,
That's right.
not for buses.
That's correct, it's just, yeah, for feeling of safety and so forth while you're waiting for the bus.
Now these long rectangular areas are just a standard sidewalk concrete.
That's correct.
And these little rectangles are the shelters.
Right.
And these elements in here are existing and will continue to exist. They're going to be existing and modified.
They are actually completely different. See how much larger the existing island is, and they're shifted, this whole thing is shifted this way. So, there'll just be some little kind of remnants of islands, if you will. And originally, I'll be honest, I wasn't planning on planting it, but I know that you had asked informally about, a planting, and we would definitely be glad to put some planting there, bushes or something that you,
Otherwise,
Like-
it's just more paving.
right.
And this is just, would be a painted line on the paving.
Is
Oh,
it curbed?
it's curbed.
It's
Okay.
curved.
Mhm.
Okay. So it would be curved with 2 levels of paving.
Right. So I mean, if you want it to have bushes or something that's more attractive, that's something we could definitely do.
Well, I think it might be a feature because in this whole area, there isn't a lot of landscape treatment. Is there, what happens over here?
This is just this. If you look out the window here, it's just that roadway where that the buses use.
Oh,
This
okay.
is that large.
Okay,
It's kind of an old street, but basically only buses use this.
okay, all right.
It would be the only piece of greenery that you'd be looking at.
Right.
Am I right?
That's correct. There's really not. There's some trees along the islands there, but there's not.
So this is the island here that runs right down in the middle of that parking lot?
Well, this is that island.
Oh,
So
that-
there is grass on these little pieces.
Okay,
And this is a sidewalk, and then this here is in front of those storefronts.
I see.
So these are luminaires that you're showing?
Right on this island.
Light fixtures.
That's correct.
What do those look like?
Basically,
Do you
we were
have them
just,
already on the job site?
well, we were just planning on matching what we have out there.
You're, okay.
So
They're
we
the-
have some-
If I remember, they're shoebox kind of looking
Mhm.
things. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't get over there to look.
Oh, no, I
I didn't have any documents beforehand to tell me where we're going.
We have a window if you'd like to see anything specific.
Yeah, I know.
This one I can give you.
I like to
direct
go to
view.
the job site and take a look at things first. All right, so all of these are going to be the same thing. They're kind of with a box, downlight.
right.
Okay, all right, that's what I'm just asking about. What do these fences look like? What are they?
They're just they're just a
Oh,
thermoplastic
here it is.
railing.
Okay, I see.
That's
The
not the railing.
fences
I don't
are
have-
shown anywhere?
They are not.
I see.
Let's see, I think they're in the specifications. We've been using them, we like them because, they don't get dirty like
Spindle,
stainless. They're
rail,
essentially
what
just
type?
like, they would be, I apologize, I should have.
I don't know if you have any
Yeah.
over here.
We'll probably have something like, forgive me, I'm not an artist or an architect, but something like this, just a railing,
Okay.
just kind of low railing, just to discourage
Keep
people from crossing.
hopping over them
Right,
into them, I see.
going in the path of a bus that's not expecting to see them.
Now, is this the line of travel that the Euclid Transport uses?
Right. Mhm.
Oh, okay, all righty.
Currently, they have to go around this loop
Okay.
and then out.
Okay. So will this be a raised platform at a height that you can walk directly onto that?
No, it's just a curved
It-
island.
It's just going to be a curved island, so
Mhm.
you'll step down
That's right.
at that point.
Mhm.
Stamped concrete, just
Yeah,
anything color you're going to put into it, or is it going to be
I'm
cementatious in color?
I am planning to have it red. I cannot promise you that it will be red, but I can if you want me to promise that. But
Just asking
at the
if you
moment,
have what you have in your
the
design?
plan is to have it be red.
Brick color.
Concrete.
Like a brick color.
A brick color.
a brick color.
brick red type color.
So they score it as they pour it, right?
Right, they
Score it,
put those.
all right.
I must say, in that setting, the stamped concrete they've done at Shaker Square,
Mhm.
I think is really quite handsome.
Mhm.
It doesn't, whatever it looks like, looks appropriate with that
In
color
that
and
environment.
that environment. Which I might like better
Something
than
different?
this because these elements don't appear to be whopper-jawed, and I know they're not, but it's just the way it appears in this, and it might be nice to do something like that.
Like what's at Shaker Square?
Yeah, and it might be nice.
Is that more like hexagonal?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Right.
I don't think that would cost any more. I don't think that would be a problem.
No, I don't.
I do have a contractor on board already, so I can just talk to you about
I
that.
think the one thing I guess I really would like to see some landscape treatment.
Okay.
Just to relieve that area, since it's going to be a change of plane anyway. And you don't particularly want to encourage people to walk over it.
No, that's right.
So I would think that a little bit of green there would really be nice. And if it was just grass, it would be better than just the concrete. If you get a small piece of plant material in it, like like some bushes or a tree or a combination of things, it might be even nicer.
Okay.
How do you maintain vegetation anywhere else on the site?
On the site,
What is
well,
it?
well, we have grass and we have trees and,
Oh, so you do have maintenance people coming in there to do that, okay. So this wouldn't be just unique.
that's right. And the
Okay.
existing islands also have it, but they're not the only place that has it. There's all these little jut out areas, all are grass.
Okay, just want to, that it isn't
Right, it is an
unique.
issue, yeah, you don't want to have a forest growing up in there.
No, I mean, this would be the only one that we
Right.
would request, and nothing else.
Right.
Okay,
So,
I see what you're
um,
saying.
I would be happy to come up with something and maybe we could put together a package and maybe confer with you about what we put in the package. I do have a contractor on board to do this, and our operations people are very anxious to get moving with this. So,
So what you're saying is that you really would like to have an approval this evening, and we could maybe make that contingent on a submission of the plant material and the final paving and texture that you're going to use.
right.
And,
And we could talk about that offline too, about what you would like to see in that location.
well,
I'm sure it would not be a very expensive endeavor.
I think probably in any case it would be less costly than doing concrete there, which is what your builder's going to have be pricing out anyway. So
Right. I don't think I can have this, because of the procurement rules, I don't think I can have this contractor do it. But I can put together a small package, which I'm sure would be,
These are all
within my
planted in
budget.
grass,
Yes, those are grass.
they're
And
not
they must-
anything but.
There's nothing
Now
there.
they have trees, don't they? They must
Um,
have trees.
Yeah, there's
Oh, they
This
have
is all-
trees on
yeah.
each one.
I guess
Okay,
in this-
So these
yeah.
are grass. These
Grass.
are, okay.
I think that's just painted, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got anything else?
Yeah? Do you have anything else?
I can see you putting grass in there, but I don't think you need to put floral or trees or anything like that. And the poles are matching the ones you have out
Right.
here, which are the shoebox kind. All right, that's all I wanted to know. And the concrete,
And we could,
embossed concrete is gonna be a red.
well, it will be a suitable, it'll be a different color than what's out there. So if you wanted something that was less bricky looking, we could look at that.
Well, there's something there's nothing sort of terribly bricky about that whole
Environment. I see what you're saying.
Or the building.
Right. It's more modern looking.
So I wouldn't mind seeing it something other than a red material.
Okay.
Which I
I'm an
think is
engineer,
why
I have no imagination. I see stamped concrete, I just think of brick, but, I know that there's other patterns and colors available.
Okay, this being the case, I'm going to make a motion that we approve the project as submitted with the understanding that the applicant will submit a diagram suggesting the location of some plant materials in the paving and the texture pattern of the stamped concrete with a description of the color that's being proposed to be used. And that would be submitted to Mr. Bombalis, who administratively can let the members of the committee take a look at it.
And
Via
color,
email, maybe.
suggested color.
Sure, and if you have a particular recommendation, we'd be happy to hear what it is.
Well, you've heard what I had to say about that.
You'd like something a little more on the modern side, or like
Well,
Shaker
something
Square.
that's gonna work a little better with the
Okay.
building, maybe. And yeah, I think what happens in Shaker Square is really quite nice.
Okay.
It's very simple.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion that basically says approved as submitted with further submittal of plant materials and texture and color pattern of proposed concrete work to be submitted.
And administratively, for
Yeah, you
administrative
can,
approval.
so, I have a motion, do I have a second?
You have a second.
We have a motion, and we have a second. We've already had a discussion, so I don't think we'll go through any more of that. Having that, I'll call the motion. In favor of the motion, Mr. Van Patten?
Aye.
Mr. Reiki?
Approved.
Approved. So we have that. Yes, and what you can do for me is, you can probably send me this stuff in an email form,
Okay.
and then I can email it to them.
Okay.
Although it might not be perfect in color, it'll be a start,
Okay.
okay? And should they have any things, we can do that through email, I hope.
I hope so, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I don't want to meet again on this project. You don't, I know you don't.
Interesting what you're using, just on a question. The luminaires, have you started to use your fixtures, have you changed the color of the,
Of the fixtures?
no,
Of
the
the-
coloration? Is
we-
it like 2,800, 28,000?
I have to be honest, I don't really know a whole lot about that. I know that we're trying to go with more energy efficient lighting,
That's
but,
correct, LEDs,
yeah,
okay. Sometimes they have
they're a slightly different
variations in
color.
color. I noticed that you
I
said GE fixture. It didn't say what kind of luminaire, what kind of bulb you had in it.
Okay, yeah, and
They
that's,
call them bulbs, but there
that'd be
was
in the
something
spec,
else.
in the specifications, I probably have that.
Doesn't say, it just, and it says black. Okay, just interesting, what, have you studied that it's more warmer colors?
Have to,
Okay.
I don't think, because I think we still have some other lights on the site, so I think we'll probably
Okay,
just.
Match what's already
Right.
there and not start
not
out
to
with
be a
whole new-
contrast.
Right,
Some people might, in a safety zone, they may put a different
a different
coloration.
color.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
just asked. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So you've signed in, everything's straight, and I'll be looking to get your email.
Okay.
And if you want to have your print back again, we can let you have it.
Okay. I'm not sure I have your email address.
All right. you can send it to S. Wallace
Okay. That's
at eastcleveland.org, because she's here every day.
Right.
She gets.
She can forward
She
it
can
or,
forward it to me.
got it. And
But I'm suggesting you maybe should put Mr. Bombalis' name fairly prominently.
Right.
Near the top, and,
Right, that's a very good suggestion. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We have 10 of those, so that's the ones
You know-
I brought. You want them back?
Yep,
You can keep them.
this is fine.
All right.
I'm gonna take this.
Yeah, take along with the notes.
Aye.
Okay, the only, we need another gentleman over there to sign in, I believe.
I got you. All right.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you, nice meeting you.
Here you are. Just copy the design layout.
The next case we're hearing is docket 02-2015, 14708 Euclid Avenue. It's a awning and a sign, and it's basically called Philly Cheesesteak Express.
Okay, we are going to be doing a recover of the existing awning that was previously belonged to the Shrimp Boat Liquor Agency. We're also adding an extension to the side of the building to cover the new main entrance that's going to be on the, I would believe, the north side of the property. All the graphics are going to be printed on a white eradicated exotic vinyl. I believe it's a 12-ounce vinyl. It's fully capable of illumination. There are existing lights in place right now. We are going to be adding the excess lighting to the new work that's being done, including this 8-foot gable that's on the side above the side door. There might be a typo on that on the last page. It should be 8 feet.
Were we looking at this before? The building?
You did look at the building. This was the remodeled building.
Yeah, he's done a lot of work with it.
Yeah, he's totally remodeled the building. It used to be a shrimp boat with some round windows in it.
Remember this last year?
yes.
So it's in 14.
Yeah. And this did go to the Board of Zoning Appeals because this exceeds the allowed signage, and he was granted a variance.
14708 Euclid Avenue?
Correct. Now, I spoke to the property owner as well. I informed him to clean up his property a little bit for you guys last time I was there. Also informed him to get his bug down here and do all the paperwork he needed to. Whether he's done that or not, I'm not sure yet. As we talked earlier before the meeting, I informed him that we're not done with all the engineer drawings. It's being stamped right now. It's going to get sent back. So as long as that comes in before we pick up our permit, we should be good to go there. But for reference, we're going to be using a 3-inch by 3/16 Tapcon screw. It's rated for like 125 pounds. There'll be a double run above the bottom, along the bottom, and along the top of the building every 16 inches.
The face of this, and I can't tell from this photograph, the face of your sign is projecting forward of the building face. Is that correct?
Well, the building face, the awning that's existing is a 2-foot awning. The gable itself, so the awning itself sticks out 2 feet from the actual
The
building.
existing awning hangs
Correct.
out 2 feet
Correct.
beyond the face of the building.
Correct,
On all sides.
on all sides.
Okay.
Now, we're going to be adding a gable to it, a small
That's
gable.
what you're calling a gable.
Correct, with just a small little dormer almost to come out of it, just to label the front door. That's actually going to come out in another additional 12 inches.
So it won't give you much by way of rain protection over that door.
Not necessarily. Well, I'm sorry, it comes out as far as the door swings, so it's not really for protection. It was more like to create an opening.
To make it more observable as
Right.
where the front door was.
Correct.
Okay.
because they had changed it. I believe that was just a access door for deliveries, and the door was on the front. But by the time I came onto the project, the front was already replaced with windows.
You did some landscaping there too.
He did, the
Did
owner?
they paved it or what?
They haven't paved it yet. They might have, I'm not really sure. I
It
don't
was one of the
remember that.
requests that there was gonna be,
I
the
don't
site
think
was
they
gonna be
finished
cleaned
the
up.
exterior.
I did talk to him about that. I spoke with the lady that was in the last meeting. We got to talking about her daughter. She might come and intern with us. I informed him he needs to clean up his act over there and get this property ready to move. Not only is it bad for the city and you can get roaded up for it, but it doesn't look good for pre-advertisement for your new place either. You don't
That's
want to junk
correct.
everywhere.
This was way back on the February of 2014.
I apologize for that. I wasn't on the property
Just
though.
bringing it forward.
I will tell him, yes, for sure, everything that gets conveyed to me in this meeting.
Tell him we remember it and what we agreed to with it.
Okay, okay.
So, this has a pitch to it, except for your gable that you call it.
Correct. Yeah,
Which,
that pitch would be off to the south, or east and west on that.
The gable goes back to the high point of the canopy, or?
Correct.
I don't-
Correct, yeah, it's
I
dead
see.
even with the high point of the canopy. It ties in, just like this right here at the top. So you basically have, from the top view, if I could draw it for you real quick, you would have your gable would tie in right here, your little dormer, and then you'd have just a 12-inch reveal from that dormer, and obviously going around the corner here of the building. So if you're looking from the top, your dormer would stick out here, tie in at the highest most point.
Now, you'd also have a diagonal. from the
Correct,
top
I'm
to
sorry,
the
yeah, you'd have your valley.
On both sides.
Correct, so it would almost pan out like that right there.
Now, as I remember our previous negotiations on this canopy,
Okay.
it was going to run down the side street. Is that the road there?
That's a good question. That second side street here, it does go down this side street right here.
Yes, but it
So-
doesn't go the whole way.
No, it's existing only, we're covering. We're just reskinning that awning itself.
And it was also to run down the other side, the full length of the side. Except I don't remember a door being added down at the very end. Do you remember that?
It was only on 3 sides,
Correct.
was
The
only
awning's
on
only on
three
3
sides.
sides.
nothing in the rear.
Okay.
Nothing. No, we actually only added, there is awning that's existing to right here. We only added 8 feet. We're only adding 18 feet, I believe, of awning to the whole entire existing awning setup.
Back up a bit.
Sure.
It looks like what you have here projects above the coping. Is that correct? The
Correct.
existing coping.
Correct.
Before, it was just going to the coping.
No. This is exactly how it is existing. There's actually an overhang that goes over the awning. It's built up and notches up on top of the roof, and that's where it attaches. That was we're matching the original existing awning material. The only reason why we're taking it down is to properly stretch it and make sure all the mounts are secured and, redoing it. I mean, this is part of his contract agreement with us.
So you're reusing the mounting?
The framework only, not the
Okay.
bolts or the holes. It's a Tapcon screw, it's not an anchor. Even if it was an anchor, we couldn't use the holes anymore anyway, because we try to get everything into the tuck point, the mortar joints, so
Yes.
that we don't damage a lot of brick. I'm used to working downtown where it's all limestone and everything like that, so I make sure all my installs are done through mortar joints. It's just easier to repair. Because a lot of the properties I work with, to be honest, so I'm kind of on your side on this one. It seems like in Cleveland, you got an average opening of 3 to 18 months on a building. I've worked on buildings 3 times in the last 2 years, so whatever it is to cause not only the client to spend a little bit less money but still do it the right way, and then be able to remove it later. Because like I said, working on historical properties, I feel like I have to pay attention to that all the time, not just on historical properties. So as opposed to cutting out all the bricks, putting a little tuck point in there and mortar would be a lot easier to fix.
Well, if we agreed not to extend the sign to the fourth side, I think it should extend at a minimum then to the full length of the three sides. So particularly on the Lee Road side, if that's Lee Road, I think it's important to see it on the full length.
Well, that
Yeah.
building would have to be notched around, because there isn't a little build out there.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
I understand. So you have to notch it a little bit.
Okay.
But at least continue at the full length, and then on the parking lot side, extend that to full length.
So you want to wrap three sides and then stop at the end? You don't want it to bevel at the corner, or would you like it to have a hip
Well, I'd like
edge?
to see it run around four sides, but you're saying we agreed that you don't have to do that, so.
At the meeting with the owner, I'm not really sure what was going on.
I see, well.
I was only at the last variance meeting. I have only talked to him for about 3 months now. He actually came out and got a bid from us late last summer, and then disappeared. And came back and said, "Hey, I want to do it. Here you go. Go pull the permit." So I'm kind of lost when it comes to that. If you don't mind filling me in, I'll be happy to stick to it. But I got to make sure, we can. He's got to get it done. I mean, if it gets not approved based on that, he's just going to have to kick in the extra to get the rest of it done.
Well, I can't speak for
Sure.
anybody else sitting at the table here, but I think at a minimum, this should cover the three sides.
Okay.
And however you turn the corner on the back.
I think that if we just ended it just like the shape of the awning right here in the back.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at it right here, this continues out and just has a little hip edge to it. I think that would be the best. You wouldn't want to stop it straight. It might look funny from the side, from the back. And you wouldn't want to bulk around the corner and wrap it because at that point you might as well go all the way across the back.
Well, that would be the best by preference, of course.
Okay.
But I realize that there are some economies gained by not doing it. If you're not going to do it in one place,
Right.
I guess that would be the place to not do it.
Okay.
So what you're doing is you're going above, this is what you're doing. You're just slightly above the wall. This is your coping.
Correct. You have your capping back here.
Just
Coping.
look at that.
Right,
Use a
well,
nice
here.
sketch.
This is how it is actually. Comes over the top of the roof just a little bit, and that's where it attaches for the most part. That's how it's existing now. Obviously, that's a little bit more meat to grab onto. You got two different surfaces with two different angles. So with the bolts coming both this way, that helps a lot with the payload snow
So you're
load.
attaching to the coping stone.
Correct.
Well, you want it to extend on the three sides fully, like it was suggested
Okay.
back in,
I think it's what we agreed to, actually.
I believe that's what we agreed to back in February 2014.
Okay. You had a pre-meeting with the owner of
Yes,
the
we
building?
did.
Okay. Well,
I think we had three.
I can see there being some issues there, so unfortunately I'm kind of caught in the middle of it right now, only for an
We don't
hour.
want you to be caught in
No,
the-
I understand completely,
No,
but
of course we might have caught.
Well,
That's
right, we
exactly
wanna
what
get it
we're
done. We want to get it done. Hey, that's more, listen, at the bottom line, obviously that's a larger sale for me, but I just want to do what's right for everybody. So if this is what you, for your aesthetics or your, the committee and the city you want to do, I have no problem going back to the client and telling them, look, let's talk about this because it
the
makes
only
more
addition
sense.
is here, this little highlight at the entrance, at his door.
Uh-huh.
That was the only thing that you added to it. And the pattern would go all the way to the rear.
Correct, we're going to have to continue the length of the building on
Simple,
both sides.
straightforward, right.
I even proposed at the very beginning that at least on this side have it go, if you want it to go all the way over on this side, 38 feet. let's go 38 feet on the other side. It kind of feels like it's undone. You know, it's left, but at least then when you got all looks of the building, you know, from one side or the other side, you're not really going to tell, but as you're circling the building, it would look all cohesive. But going all the way to the back, it would ultimately achieve the same thing.
Okay.
Okay? All right. And
So
we're going to put a
call-
hip end.
We're gonna call this revised
Hip end, okay.
per
Yeah, we're going to put a nice hip on the edge. I think it would look
29-2013, my goodness.
Yes, we reviewed
147.
this a few times.
I bet it keeps coming back with different ideas. Is that what it is? I can see that happening. I don't know the guy well so far. He's been pretty straightforward with everything that he's told me. Up until that I heard there was issues with there being a lot of junk on the property.
Now, you're not doing anything but the signage and awning.
Correct.
So there were some other issues that we had some agreement on, and
Okay.
landscaping was one of them, and I think maybe some treatment of the parking lot and the parking lot striping were another
And
thing.
windows.
And windows.
You know, I gotta tell you, I think that he might have, windows are being taken care of.
Okay.
I know that, I've seen them, they might already be done.
Well, they might be, they may or may not be,
Okay.
the way we agreed, but be all that as it may, you're focused on the canopy.
And then you wanna do landscaping as well.
Well, let's say that it was the
Agreement.
parking lot was
Okay.
to be cleaned up.
Yeah, like I said, last time I left here, I spoke with a lady downstairs, and she said, just let them know, clean up the lot.
Mhm.
So I have no problem doing that. So I will let them know that it's got to get this done. There's
just-
an overall agreement, and for everything to work, it's all got to be done.
Just refer to as his project number 28-2013.
28-2013.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that was also a continuation for a second time. Yes.
I walked into the wolf's den.
No. You just walked into my notes.
I know. Well, if you have, I'll leave my card here too. If you have any issues with anything that's going on, definitely give us a call. I will make sure that he gets all this information this evening. He asked me to call him as soon as I left. I don't know if he's in town or not.